fellow Toastmasters. We lost our guest. I will be doing a presentation today on results or reaping. And when you think of the word reaping, you'll think of, a lot of people think of wheat and the harvesting of wheat. And my approach is from an analytical point of view or a technical point of view. That's what we'll be discussing today. So the definition of results is the consequence of a particular action, operation, or course of an outcome to end in a particular way, a favorable or concrete outcome or effect. So a result can be the product of arithmetic formula or an equation. And I believe it's from your life perspective. The consequences or results of things that happen in your life are a direct result of your life perspective. So it being a product of a formula or equation, you can see here 2 plus 2 will always equal 4. No matter what, 2 plus 2 will always equal to 4. And there's other formulas that are used to get a result, like trying to determine the side C, a squared times b squared equals c squared, or a squared equals b squared plus c squared. And then we have this little angle thing here. It's a mathematical formula. Another way to look at it is you're at point A and you're going to arrive at point B. It's kind of like coming to work from your house. There's a certain way that you go. There's no other way you can go. There's only one way you can get here. If you go another way, you're not going to get here. That's mathematical. The way I define things is either mathematical or it's like English. And if it's English, it's subjective. And I have this little story to tell. I was taking this class, this computer class, and my professor said, write this one-page essay and hand it in. So I did, I handed it in, and I got it back, and I got an A. So next year I was taking the same teacher, it was a different class, and he said the same thing. I figured, aha, I'm going to take my old essay, I'm going to see if he's grading mathematical or subjective. So what I did is I went through and I just changed certain words, and I handed it back in. And when I got it back, I had a B minus. And I knew that it was subjective, that it was dependent on his mood and how he was reading things. So he didn't remember my first assignment, but he graded it differently based on his emotions. So I believe that results are not subjective, they are mathematical. It's the product of a formula or equation. So, from a life perspective, this is an interesting point. When you're born with nothing. You came into the world with nothing. And so that means that anything you accumulate during your life is more than what you had when you were born. So that's one way of looking at things. So, what I say is that we all have 10 acres. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 acres. Now my daughter, who is very good at doing things with her hands, one day she was working on this little tiny thing with beads, and I looked at her and I said, that's incredible what you're doing. And she's decided to become a surgeon. So I came to her one day and I said, you have 10 acres. And she said, yeah, Dad, I have 10 acres. And one day she came to me and said, I got you. I've got 10 acres. So your hands. So results are a direct result of your life perspective plus your attitude, your choices, your decision, and then action, which is really important. And I say that because the result is not from your choice, because you have your choices. It's the action that you act on as far as your choice. A lot of people will say that the result is from the choices, but it's not. It's from the action of whatever choice you had. So basically what I'm saying is 2 plus 2 is going to be 4, always. So it's an equation. So if it's an equation, that means if you introduce other variables, you're going to get a different result. So some people will argue with me and say it's not an equation because I did what this other guy did, but I got a different result, but they had other things mixed in with their equation. So they got a different result. So when you are going through your seasons here, you're going to be planting something, as I said in my last speech. The question is where is your focus? What are you looking at? What are you focused on as you go through the seasons? You tend to be thinking about the harvest. It's like we're saying, you're going through here and you're watering, you're tending, and you're thinking about the fruit. So you tend to achieve your goal by focusing on your result. Some people have that kind of backwards, but it's really important if you want a certain result is to focus on that result and then go through your seasons. So with saying that, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you today.